Hello everyone, this is Jeanette Martin, brand ambassador for JD Farms Gourmet Turkey Products. And where in the world are we? We're back in my kitchen. This is my home kitchen and it's time to turn some leftovers into left yummers. If you tuned in a couple of days ago, I did a one pan, what I call my single girl supper, TV dinner, and took some roasted vegetables and nestled some turkey sausages in there. Well, I have some leftovers. And I've been adapting to this new way of life. Set myself up an office and I had so many little meetings and phone calls and things like that today. I wanted to make sure that I ate really well and that I wanted a very quick supper idea. So I'll be right back. I just want to show you. Cheers. I've got a little local Chardonnay in my fun clown glass that I painted. I'm going to go wash my hands and a little song is going to happen. So hang on a second. Happy birthday to whoever's watching. Happy birthday to who's ever watching. Happy birthday to... No, we should be singing happy anniversary, or we've got 7,900 plus followers. So that's about 20 seconds. So I'm back again. So I've washed my hands really well, as any good chef does. And let's get cooking. So like the Galloping Gourmet, a little sip of wine, and we'll have my clown face be watching me. So today we're going to make what I call a roasted, like a quick pasta salad with these leftovers and some fresh vegetables as well to give a little bit of crunch. So I'm going to kind of show you my bench, as they call it in culinary school. So I've got everything ready. I've got Caslo sourdough pasta. It's a barley pasta that I've already pre-cooked. So we're going to put in some olives that have like a little garlic inside. These are all things from my pantry. Some fresh grated cabbage, some red onion. I'm going to use the lemon to make a little bit of a dressing. Locally, I've got in my pantry some garlic, sage, cilantro, balsamic vinegar. It's like a reduction. From Well Seasoned, I have some Spanish olive oil that I'm going to put in. I love these little tubes of fresh basil that's already been minced for me. Got all my bench tools that I need, my lemon reamer, my spatula, my whip, my knife, some feta, some goat feta. This is 40 grams cooked of that sourdough pasta. This is what from the other day. This is the roasted vegetables that I've got in there. So I've got some Brussels sprouts, parsnip, there's a mushroom in there, there's some potato in there, carrot in there, some red onion in there, and of course one of our sun-dried tomato feta in my bowl. So let's get started. Oh, look at, 7 people. Hey, give me a thumbs up. Let me know where you are. Ask a question. I'll see if I can answer any of your questions. Just to kind of pre-qualify myself, I did go to culinary school 1.5 million years ago, back in the 80s. And I just love connecting people over food. And this is how we can do it right now. I'm the middle child of 7 kids in my family. I have 9 in my family. It was like catering every single night. So I just love to cook. And I've got my dad went to culinary school and my youngest brother's a Red Seal chef. So food is really important to us, and good quality and food that's easy to make and that is good for you. Do you love this apron? Give me a thumbs up or heart. Love to travel. Pick this up in New Orleans. It's got a bunch of little alligators all over it. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is our dressing, because I want to put the fresh vegetables into my dressing and then the rest of the root vegetables. So let's start with a little bit of ground pepper. And for one person, I'm going to say 1/4 teaspoon of ground pepper. If you're making this for a family of 4, of course, you probably maybe want to put a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. I really like it peppery. You can adjust this. Because my vegetables were roasted in JD Farms turkey rub, which has got salts in it, and I've got my feta, and I've got my olives. Those are pretty salty, so in my dressing, I'm not going to go too salty. So this is a pink Himalayan fine sea salt, maybe 1/4 teaspoon on that. Let's put in this balsamic vinegar. Is like a reduction, so it's really thick. I don't know if you can see it when I pour it. Probably about 1 teaspoon for me. Again, if you were making this for 4, times that by 4. And then I've got my Spanish olive oil, About a tablespoon of that as well in there. Times that by 4, so 4 tablespoons for a family of 4. Oh, little music there for you. In the basil, I'm going to add about a teaspoon of that. I really like it, so I like the flavor that it's going to give me. And then I'm going to add a quarter of a lemon into this. This is my favorite little tool. It's called a lemon reamer. And the key piece to this is, remember the other day I used the lemon zest? Oh, it's really sunny, so I hope, where I live, it's really sunny, so I hope you guys can see me. I took the skin off it. So you kind of put the skin side up in my reamer, give it a squeeze, and look at how much juice comes out of it. And all the pits and stuff like that stay in it. Oh, it's really sunny. I hope you guys, oh, maybe if I come over a little bit this way and turn my camera. I live in a really sunny cottage. Okay, and that's it. So I get my little whip. Give it a bit of a stir. You can kind of see that it's thicker. Sometimes when you're making a fresh vinaigrette, use a little bit of Dijon or mustard powder to kind of emulsify it, or an egg white or egg yolk to emulsify it. I don't need to do that because I do have that balsamic vinegar that's pretty, it's very thick. So I always love to correct my seasoning. So I dip my spoon in, give it a little bit of a taste. Go, yeah, that's the flavor that I want, because knowing I'm going to be adding these flavors coming from the roasted vegetables, as well as the feta cheese and the rest of the ingredients. So I have a little piece of cabbage. Oh, I hope you guys can see. Can you give me a thumbs up that everything is looking okay? Oh, that's a little better. So I'm going to take the cabbage, and I'm going to shred it as you would if you were going to make a coleslaw. Always keeping your knuckles in, because knuckles in food don't taste good. Give it a nice little shred, and it's nice to add the fresh element of the cabbage and the crunch, because the vegetables are very softly roasted now. So I would say about a quarter cup of shredded cabbage, green cabbage, or if you had red at home, or a Napa cabbage, goes into my bowl. So again, you would use about a whole cup of cabbage. I've got maybe, when this gets cut up, maybe an 1/8 of a cup of red onion. I do like red onion for this particular recipe because it's not as harsh as what a regular cooking onion would be. Plus the color is pretty nice. It's got a nice little crunch to it. If you want to take out some of that oniony flavor, if you soak the onion cut up in cold water for about half an hour, 45 minutes, and drain it and dry it, it's going to take some of that oniony flavor or that harshness out of it. Again, watching my fingers, giving it a nice little dice, and about the same kind of cut that I'm doing on the cabbage, I've got my red onion in there. Okay, gonna take, I've got 6 olives. I'm gonna keep one back because it's gonna be my garnish. Gonna cut this in little circles, maybe each one giving it a 4 chop or a 5 chop. Want to expose that garlic that's gonna come out. And guys, remember, olives are so good for you. The omegas that are in there, good for brain development. And garlic, you know, garlic is all about keeping vampires away. I've never seen a vampire in my house. Good well-stocked pantry with my ingredients. So there's my olive going in. So let's take now that bounty of vegetables that I did the other day. And I do want to cut them. I don't want to just dump them in. That's because they've kind of been sealed up with all the little roasty flavor. I want to get kind of the, oh, how can I say it? Expose a new surface. So my new dressing is going to flavor that new surface. So just kind of giving these a bit of a rough chop. Save my Brussels sprout kind of in half. I just want to expose some of that that new side of the vegetable, if that's the proper terminology. Remember, I'm not a Food Network star. I'm just like you. I'm wondering what's for supper. I wonder what I'm going to make. How can I feed my family something really good and nutritious? And this is how you can do it. And you know what? When this gets done, it's actually going to make enough for 2. So it's kind of leftover yummers for tomorrow as well. I'm adapting to my new way of living here at home. And new meetings coming. Thank goodness for Zoom and Skypes and FaceTimes and emails and phone calls. I was very busy today, so I'm glad I'm doing this leftover yummers dinner. And I'll have enough for lunch tomorrow as well. Okay, everything rough chop. Put my bowl in the sink. I'm gonna take the JD Farms sun-dried turkey sausage that has the feta. Give it a half chop. And everything's kind of square and round in there, so let's be a little fancy and cut this with what I would call a restaurant cut, which is on the diagonal. You're at home. I live by myself. With your family, if you're used to going out, you know, you want to give them a restaurant meal at home. So if you can kind of see their little kind of triangles, I'll figure this out and get it well. Into the bowl it goes. I'm going to go wash my hands. Always having my bar cloth handy. Gonna add my pasta salad, my pasta, cooled, rinsed pasta in there. Going to add, so if you were doing this for a family of 4, this was 40 grams dried and then cooked. Bump that up to 160 grams that I weigh out. I always weigh, I love on the back of the package, if you follow what it says, this is a really good serving. So 80 gram serving is their normal if you're going to say have a pasta meal. So for something like this, 40 grams is more than enough because I've got all these great vegetables and the feta cheese and the olives and the new cabbage and the red onion in there. I got enough. I don't need a full serving on that. So in my feta cheese, this is a nice goat feta, about the size of a cube of dice that I've pre-shredded. So about, I'd say a tablespoon maybe, or half an ounce. So that would look at metric and then over to imperial. Say about an ounce or 2 in here. Adjust it. It's your flavor. It's your tasting. So guys, that's about it. Got my spatula. Give this a bit of a toss. You can kind of see everything's kind of married. And it's nice having that fresh cabbage in there, because it's going to be a crunch, and having the nice little bit of the heat of the crunch of the red onion to go with those softer vegetables. Oh, I forgot to get a bowl. Oh, I need to get a bowl out. Oh, let's go with plate. So plate up half of this. And I love my white plates. That means the food, the bounty of our local ingredients are the superstar to the meal and not my plate. So half of it for tomorrow, half of it for dinner tonight. And it is yourself. Let's clean up our plate a little bit. Oh, and we're going to take that olive that I reserved and cut it on a bit of an angle so I can expose the little garlic. Now put that on top. Let's do an extra little drizzle of that balsamic on top. Make it a little fancy. And you know what? I normally have, say, cilantro or basil in the house. I don't right now. I'm not going out. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the squirt, maybe put that on top as my garnish. And guys, that's it. Something really simple for supper. I hope you can see it. Oop, I'm dropping my noodles. And that's how you take leftovers and make it into left yummers with JD Farms turkey. And some ingredients that I have in my pantry and some ingredients that I have in my fridge. So if you have any questions about this recipe, you're more than welcome to, after it uploads, make a comment. Thank you so much for coming along. Do remember that we love you at JD Farms. We want you to be safe. Soon we're going to be launching an online ordering program, so you can order your turkey products online, or you can always, I believe it's turkey@jdfarms.ca, or give them a call if you've got an order. They've got amazing people. They'll pick a bunch of stuff for you. You can pay over the phone, and they will make sure that you get these great turkey products. And you're supporting BC Local, and your family is eating really well too. And I do know that Well Seasoned, they're open and they've got some grab-and-go meals, just like JD Farms has got some grab-and-go meals. We are all about making sure that you take care of yourself and keep healthy, keep your immunity up. We love you at JD Farms. Tune in again. I'm not sure when I'm going to come back. Maybe tomorrow, the next day. Probably always at 6 o'clock because that's dinner time with JD Farms. Oh, and you know what? I may go in the morning because I've got a kind of a one-pan breakfast hash that I do as well with the JD Farms turkey breakfast sausages. So, okay, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. The thumbs up. And like I said, we love you lots. And cheers and good health.